The Sony PlayStation, or as it's more commonly known nowadays, the PS1, is one of the most important consoles in all of gaming history. In terms of sales, it absolutely slaughtered the competition from Sega and Nintendo, ending their dominance over the industry. It's no surprise that the PS1 sold so well when you look at its library. It had the Crash Bandicoot games, the Spyro games, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9, Tekken 1, 2 and 3, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Klonoa Door to Phantomile, Gran Turismo 1 and 2, Medieval 1 and 2, Armored Core. The list just goes on and on. I could be here for ages, listing all the awesome games that call the PS1 home. Just like pretty much any horror movie ever made ever, the PlayStation itself got a whole bunch of sequels. However, unlike pretty much every horror movie ever made ever, the PlayStation's successors were all massively successful. And when the first of these, the mighty PlayStation 2, was released in Japan in the year 2000, and the rest of the world the following year, most of the big developers shifted their focus away from the PS1 and onto the brand new PlayStation 2. And the other 6th generation consoles, of course. The PS1 didn't die with the PS2's release, and games for the PS1 kept on coming for a few more years. So have a guess when the very last officially licensed PS1 game came out? Well, if you guessed 2004, you'd be wrong, because it's actually 2005. That's right, the same year that the Xbox 360 came out, a console that was 2 generations ahead. Games were still being produced for the old PS1. And here today, we're going to be taking a look at the very last game to ever be released for the mighty Sony PlayStation. And that game is Schnappi, das Kleine Krokodil, 3 fun games, released in 2005. Schnappi, das Kleine Krokodil, which translates to Snappy, the little crocodile, is a character who debuted on the German kids TV show Die Sendung mit der Maus, which translates to The Show with the Mouse.
Kako ide to? S jednim slučajem za prijatelje, Kristofom i jednim posve posebnim mlijekom.
Oh, look at my lovely tree milk. You want a glass? It tastes of wood.
In his debut appearance in 2004, he sings a song about being Das Kleine Krokodil. As this was during the era when Crazy Frog and that stupid chick thing were considered the pinnacle of entertainment, this song went viral online and the inevitable single release became a huge hit. In 2005, it was number 1 in the charts in 7 countries. The character himself looks quite cute, although I'm not really sure what this thing on his head's supposed to be though. It can't be a hair because crocodiles don't have those, and I should know, I looked it up. So maybe it's one of those parasitic brain fungus things that's gonna make him go up a tree or something. Schnappi was well aware that he was just a novelty LOL random fad, but he still wanted to cash in as much as possible before everyone got bored of him and moved on. So he did the respectable thing and took a heavy dose of creative laxatives to crap out as many products as he could in a short space of time. This resulted in a further 2 singles, 2 albums, and this video game. This game was developed by Sproing and published by Finamedia in 2005 for the PlayStation 1 and PC. Finamedia have previously published other games such as Catch the Sperm and Sven, a game about sheep having sex. There's a cum spat in the logo. So obviously the perfect people to publish a kids game. The title of this game is kind of interesting as half of it's in English, despite the fact that everything else in the game is only in German, and this game was only released in Germany. Looking at the box art, there's a big thing here saying that it includes the original hit song and voice. This palm tree here looks a bit suspicious. Turn this upside down and you could easily sell this to a stoner in a vape shop. Maybe these are here to hint that you need to be on drugs to enjoy this game. Okay, enough rambling, let's get to the game.
Hallo Schnappi fans!
Okay, admit, that's cute. As the title suggests, this game is a compilation of 3 mini-games. These games are Schnappi Schnapp, Schnappi Denk and Schnappi Tans. In Schnappi Schnapp, you play Schnappi and you have to jump and eat bugs. You just hold down the jump button to make the power gauge go up and down and release it to jump. And the height of the jump is determined by the power gauge. There are 3 different types of edible bugs that you need to eat, and once you've eaten all of them on the stage ends. Although make sure to avoid the wasps as they kill you. You know, wasps, the crocodile's natural predator. There's also this colonial knobhead going about with his net, but he's not really a threat. He only kills you if you fall into his net, so he's not really that hard to avoid. Oh dear, looks like Schnappi's off to become a handbag. There are 20 stages in total, as indicated up here. I really wanted to know what happens if you beat them all. Maybe you get a cutscene, or a clip from the music video, or something like that. No, it just ends. You get this screen and then you put your name in the high score table. That's it. The hardest part of that game was staying interested for a full 20 levels and not just turning the thing off after 6. This is kind of early 2000s flash game level stuff right here. It's not really what you'd expect from a full PS1 release. I mean, yes, it's more fun than downing a pint of Sillet Bang in one go, but to be honest, not a whole lot more. So, on to the next one then, Schnappi Denk. This is just Simon. That's it. Schnappi shows a sequence and you have to repeat it. The sequence gets longer the further you go. This crocodile sphinx in the background looks absolutely blazed. I think he's been smoking a few of those palm trees, if you know what I mean. Next! And now time for Schnappi Dance. This is just a DDR clone, but with only one song. So good luck not getting sick of that after 5 minutes. That pint of Sillet Bang starting to look quite tempting now, isn't it?
Wow, that's fast!
There are 2 difficulty stages here. In the harder one, sometimes you have to put 2 inputs in simultaneously, and you don't in the easier one. That's it. This game is compatible with a dance mat, so maybe it would be more fun with one of those. Although, even if I did have one of those, this probably wouldn't be my first choice, as, you know, I'd probably prefer one of those games with more than one song on it. And that's it. That's the whole game. 3 mini-clip style mini-games and nothing else. A very low effort release to cash in on a fad before it dies. Shovelware at its shovelmost. It is quite bizarre that this was released for the PS1 and not the PS2 that was, you know, the king of the consoles in 2005. But I suppose at least the PS2 is backwards compatible, so you could play this on it. There's even a sticker on the front of the box to say that you can!
Hallo Schnappi fans!
So let's take a look at that PC version then. This is the XXL version, despite the fact that it contains no additional content whatsoever. This game is pretty much identical to the PlayStation version, but it looks a bit nicer. That's it. Moving on. The graphics are pretty poor for the system. Compare this to something like Castlevania Symphony of the Night and it just looks awful. Symphony of the Night was released 8 years before this game. 8 years! There is little in terms of sound effects and it milks that one song as much as it can. There is very little challenge here and I couldn't imagine this holding the attention of even very small children for more than a few minutes. It's a curiosity being the last game to come out on one of my favourite consoles, but other than that, there's absolutely no reason to play it. Tamaracade will be right back after a few words from this video's sponsor.
Buy my tree milk!
Tamaracade returns! Something that I should mention before I finish this video is that some online sources, including Wikipedia, state that the last officially licensed PS1 game was this, Mohun X. But that's incorrect. This game was a late release for the console, but it actually came out in 2004, and there were 2 games to come out after this one, including Schnappi. Between those 2, there was another game called Shoot, which was a compilation of low-effort shooting games published by the very infamous Phoenix Games. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then why not share, like, comment, subscribe and all that lot, and you can also follow me on social media if you want to. I'd like to give a humongous thank you to my patrons, including Magnus Burzane, Stuart Christopher Brownlee, House of the Ted, Eddie and Carl Deacon, and Taito803 who joined the Power Up tier whilst I was editing this episode. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, it means so much to me. And until next time, bye!